Yeah, it sounded pretty good. Like I'm a fan of it. I definitely can say that much. Like, and I think there's something our fans would be a fan of also. Would you guys like telling them?
Go ahead, Lyle.
Nigel,
Lyle, you suggested it. You're the reason why we all watched it.
oh, watched it. You talk about the fucking movie.
Yes.
You t- well, all right, shit. I thought you'd just be better suited, because you know how to make an introduction to bizarre things. So, but shouts out to Nigel though. So, listeners, as I said before on previous episodes, we like to mix things up sometimes, and this time we're gonna be doing a quick review of potentially a hood movie classic, Conflicted by Griselda and BSF, short for Black Soprano Family. Now, listeners, it's not a secret. All three of us are Griselda fans. We enjoy their
What?
music. We
I've
we
never listened to Benny.
we like, we think that they're great, phenomenal rappers, probably some of the best rappers of today. So anyway, they came out with their own in-house movie that looks like, hey, you know how to work a camera, called Conflicted. Now, this movie, without ruining it or whatever like that, is basically, typical hood tale. Guy gets out of jail, trying to stay away from the streets, but he gets pulled back
He
in.
becomes conflicted.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. So I thought the movie was entertaining, and I thought this movie was rewatchable. I'm actually going to talk to my spouse and be like, hey, let's rewatch this. But I can understand why somebody's like, they don't like this movie. I get that. I get that 100%. And I think that this movie should be, when you watch this, watch it with an open mind, of course. Don't expect for this to be an Academy Award or Oscar, whatever it's called. Look at this movie. It's like, hey, we're gonna try to draw ourselves and be entertained. And if you look at it like that, I think you will enjoy it. If you look at it as like, oh, I'm gonna hardcore critique it with a stick up my ass, you're gonna hate it.
Of course.
So
No. I mean, I second that by saying like just watch the movie like you would watch any other movie. Like, because like if you're trying to nitpick, like anything you try to nitpick at, you'll be there. So you'll sit there all day. So, but outside of that, my opinion of this movie, honestly, I really loved it. It was it for me. I think definitely like coming up like when Killer Season by Cameron or Paid in Full came out, where like these were like or Three Strikes, like these other type of movies from that same genre had came out years before. It gave me it was like a very nostalgic feeling of that type of movies, right? So I was very interested in how the plot would be because like I just literally went into it like it was a movie. I didn't think hood movie, rap movie, nothing. Just like, oh, I'm about to sit here because it's on Amazon Prime, so it's one of those unique things of where you had to used to scramble for a DVD because this would be something you'd be scrambling for a DVD if this was like 15 years ago. Like
yeah.
this is like one of those movies that's it's on Amazon Prime. If you have it, you're good and you can watch it. So I watched it and I was just like, I was just kind of blown away how good it actually was compared to what I think of other movies that are in that same class. Cause I just pinned it against like Killer Season a lot when I was watching it, but
Yeah.
for the right reasons though. So
Yeah.
I was watching it and I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. It's not, the best movie that's ever been made, but sorry. I think that if you're watching it and you don't have super high expectations, which you shouldn't if you're watching this movie, in my opinion, it's not a bad movie at all. Like, also, you got to think, like, a lot of these people, Benny, West Side, they're not actors. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you're not expecting them to go out and fucking act like Chadwick Boseman. Like, you're just not. So
Yeah.
it's like, come on, like, your expectations should be at a certain level. That being said, I think this movie was pretty good. Like, it's not like it's so stereotypical to be like, oh, okay, I can see A, B, C. Like, you might have a feeling of what's going to happen, but the way it happens is a little interesting.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys want to get into spoilers real quick? Because I want to talk about a scene from the movie.
All right, listeners, these are the spoilers. If you listen to it, fuck you. We warned you. All right.
That's it. This last
check. Wait. Check the timestamps too, listeners. That'll be the best way for you to see when to skip over it. But
right.
All right, go ahead, Nigel.
So do y'all want to go through the movie, or can I just talk about what I want to talk about?
Just talk about what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
This last fucking scene with Westside had me dying, yo. Westside comes to the park casually, you know what I mean? Just, looking for some shit and just kills this dude. Just shoots him in the face. And then the other guys are like, whoa. But guess what? Still buys it. He's like, this shit's good. All right, I'll hit y'all back. Yeah. Hops in the car, hops in the Maybach and leave. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit's crazy.
At that.
Yeah, man. Shouts out to the musically inclined art director of the year, because that shit was funny as fuck. It was just,
he wrote that scene.
Like, yeah.
He came up writing in his own music. You know what I mean?
He was like, yo, this is how we're going to do this scene real quick. All right. Like, it is that scene when he hops out is like, all right, he hops out the car, boom, hey, yo, let me get two things, da-da-da. And he just, it wasn't even like he just shot the guy. He shot him, he was dead. And then he just shot him like 7 more times.
Yeah. Like it was personal.
Yeah.
And then still bought what he came for.
and then got himself back together and then was like, yo, we ain't got no problems, right? Is there a problem here? Nah. All right, let me try that. He was like, yo, you can take whatever you want, man. You can have whatever you want. Yo, you can take all the weed. I don't even care no more. He was like, oh, all right, this is good. I'm gonna come back and see it. It's like, please what? And then it says to be continued. Like, yeah.
So Conflicted 2 is coming out, y'all. Like, I'll be watching it. I know. Yes. Like, it is what it is.
Honestly, man, I think I would buy this movie off of Amazon Prime because, at some point they're going to take it off and all that because they like to recycle what's free and what's not. But this movie, I think I would buy it. It's only $12.99. Why not keep it in the collection? And, years down the road, hey, you want to watch some Conflicted or something? It's kind of like Killer Season, hey, I want to laugh, so let's pop something in real quick. So I have no problem with this movie. I think it was good. So far, I'm so entertained about it, and I think that's the job of a movie, to be entertained. Exactly. So shouts out to all Griselda, BSF. Shouts out to the local people that they knew, because you could tell some of these guys, hey, man, you want to be in a movie.
I fuck with that.
Yeah. I fuck with it too, yeah.
The main character, right? The dude that came home from jail. Yeah, Deuce King. He's the one that wrote this movie, right?
Yep. Yeah. I was paying attention because that's one thing I really pay attention to when I watch movies, because these decisions that these characters are making are based off of that nigga. So it's like, hey, if your writer isn't good, your movie's gonna be shitty no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. Because the movie was good, and you could tell. Like, I found his IG page and all of that, and I was like, oh. You can tell, like, he showed a picture of, like, him being escorted into the prison before. So, like, you could tell, like, certain decisions, like you said, like, with this character, like, you have to have a good writer because it has to be believable.
Exactly.
And certain things in the movie were like, I'm not necessarily going to say this is how it would happen, but this feels like a believable scenario. And, like, that's all I had to say. Like, it was a really dope movie, like, for what it was.
I got 2 more things to say, and I'll pass it back to you, Lau.
All right.
One, Bree, very attractive woman, very toxic. Unfortunate what happened to her. Toxic as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, clearly. 2, you already know that dude's cousin's about to be the main antagonist, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, that part, the way that movie ends, even before, like, but even like as like when him and his mans is having that conversation outside the club, like, the thing that gets me on there was, I'm like, why would you even tell her about, like, what happened, like, about her, say anything to her? You know what I'm saying?
He's trying to rile her up.
Yeah, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I know that, but I'm also thinking, you're implicating yourself and you're implicating you
Now
and
that.
you and your friend of a crime that you committed.
Yeah.
You're literally telling her, yeah, we're the ones that killed your brother.
He didn't say that. He just said he knew him.
Yeah, it's like
That's
Very
true.
well.
That's true.
Yeah, but
Personally.
yeah. but no, he says, yeah, me and him did them in back in the day.
Did he say that? I'll have to rewatch it because there was a lot going on in that scene.
Yeah, in that scene, like I'm listening to it, and you could hear like he says, "Oh, tell her how we did them back in the day." But like it was like under all of the chatter, man.
That was kind of like a very tragic thing, right? Because it's like, damn, he fell in love with this girl. This girl's actually a good woman compared to toxic Bree, and and you could tell that I forgot his fucking name in the movie, but you could tell that. No, not Valentine, not the
main character.
Yeah, the main character.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name either.
You could tell that he was trying to be Hunter. There we go. You could tell that Hunter was trying to be steer to the right path and move past his mistakes and shit, even though he was going back to some of that shit throughout the movie. But I mean, hence the movie conflicted, right? But
they got his boy.
Yeah, but it was fucking crazy because I was just like, how, if you're in that situation, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with it? Like, damn, this girl that I just got pregnant that I actually want to be with and maybe marry one day. I'm the one that killed her brother from years ago over some, street shit.
Crazy.
That's fucking crazy. And who he was back then, you could tell that's not who he was at the end of the movie. And it was just kind of like that was very tragic, you know what I mean? And I think that's if they really pulled the trigger on a sequel, which I would like to see a sequel, that's going to be an interesting thing to explore. But do you think the girl's dead, or do you think she, they might find a way to soap opera and make her stay alive?
That's a lot of questions, man. Is she dead? Is Valentine dead? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't think Valentine was dead. He was kind of like just moving around and shit after he got shot. Valentine, in my opinion, in the next movie, he's going to be the main antagonist.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
bad guy.
Yeah, like I'm not, to answer your question, I don't know. I think she's going to die. I think she's probably not alive. And I think, unfortunately, because she's pregnant, the baby probably, unfortunately, as well. So I think it's going to change the whole thing. Like you said, like the antagonist thing with Hunter and Valentine.
Yeah,
it's going to go to like a whole crazy level.
Yep. Bree about to take revenge.
I was going to say, I have a prediction that if the girl does die, which, it's not far-fetched if she does, Hunter and Bree, they're going to hook up again at some, romantic, sentimental bullshit, and they're going to take revenge. That I could see that happening. But all
right, that
listeners,
sounds too action comic-y to me.
I mean, what do you expect from a movie like that? Do you expect for it to be very blow your mind like Tenet? Or it's, they kind of let all the cat out of the bag by the ending. The plot can be pretty linear for, with this kind of story, there's only so much they could do to kind of swerve the audience.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they left a whole lot of doors open for them to keep them twisted or turning. It just depends how they're going to write it out. That's what matters. Hey, how are we going to keep them entertained even though the plot is a little more linear now? Because there's obviously Valentine is going to be the antagonist. Yeah, you don't just go around raping a female out of jealousy and then all of a sudden you're a good guy.
That shit was crazy, man. Look, I'm excited for the next movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Yo, yeah, that was crazy scene. That was very crazy.
That shit was wild, man.
That was that like when I seen that shit wasn't even funny to me because I was like, yo, it came
out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, like because it was just like, yo, he's really like in his feelings about like the situation. It's like, yo, like you were in the wrong in the first place,
Yes,
because like you had her thinking he was doing such and such, not talking to man while he's in jail for 5 years. And that's why she just pop up out the blue, with the bags and shit, saying like, "Hey, you're out now." Da 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 da
Yeah.
da.
Bags
So,
of Gucci too.
long story short, I don't like Valentine. Fuck Valentine, and I'm excited for the next movie.
Yeah. Shouts out to Griselda and BSF, man. They
Did a good job.
They did a good job for
Yeah.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I think when it comes to like definitely when it comes to like movies from like rap labels, especially, this is up there. Like this is up there with like the State Properties, the Paid in Fools, the Killer Seasons. Like this is up there. Like shout outs to them. It did a very great job. I'll say that much. Like I definitely can't wait to see the second one.
Yeah. So